Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and hello to fellow agents of the Shadow. This is your friendly neighborhood ghost, and I'm bringing another Shadow video here. I got in this bundle of Shadow comics from a seller on eBay. This is one of his business cards that he included with this batch. This is Pleasant View Comics. I've had nothing but positive success with him beforehand. I picked up a couple other non-Shadow comics from him. This is his information here. I'd highly recommend, for all your comic book requirements, I'd highly recommend checking him out. The shipping is relatively fast. They come bagged and boarded already, and ready for you to enjoy. But putting that aside here, focusing on the bundle, this is a mixture of DC and Dynamite Shadow comics. Some of these I had in my old collection when I first started buying them, but I'm rebuilding from the ground up on my collection for ones I could find and ones that I haven't read before. So starting with the ones from the back, of course, as you can see by the main picture, this is the first issue of the Shadow Blood and Judgment. I bought the 4 issues of that series in here because I used to have the trade of the reprinting of it, but the coloring and the lighting was it was different compared to how it was originally, so I thought I'd take a look at the original issues. This has been compared to the Dark Knight Returns when talking about this. It's a darker, more violent Shadow taking place during the 80s. Someone is murdering the Shadow's old agents, and the Shadow, or Lamont, comes back to basically see that justice is done alongside a new team of agents. This series came out before the Marvel graphic novel Hitler's Astrologer, so fans at the time were aware of the Shadow's reappearance at the time, and then later this book spawned its own series, which of course culminated in the Shadow's head being taken off his body and put on a robot body, because in a previous issue, in an annual, he had died. And there's more to the story, but I don't want to go too much into spoilers, because I'd highly recommend reading it for yourselves. And then the 2 here on the sides are issues 1 and 2 of a mini-series done by Dynamite. This is the first Dynamite crossover that they did with the Shadow. This is the Shadow, Green Hornet, Dark Knights. It takes place during both World War I, as seen in the prologue of issue 1, where the Shadow is talking, or not as Lamont Cranston, but we meet him as Kent Allard. Kent Allard is having a meeting with President Wilson and his wife Edith. And then it flashes forward later to World War II, to the early 40s. Of course, the Alex Ross art is as amazing as always. I don't have the rest of the series yet, but I'm working on it. So this is the cover for issue 1, issue 2, and then he's back, and God help the guilty. Like the old pulp image of the Shadow here in the background. That's kind of fun. And then looking for the rest of the stack here. This is issue 2. This scene here is the image here on the cover is a scene from the book. I won't tell you exactly what it's about, but it is plot relevant to what happens in the book. This is issue 3 And then this is issue 1 of a 6-issue miniseries, which I haven't picked up all of yet. This is The Shadow, Midnight in Moscow. This is supposed to be a prequel, from what I understand, hearing about this series. This is supposed to be a prequel to The Shadow, Blood and Judgment. So I'm kind of curious and look forward to reading this. Moscow and Russia plays a part in the series towards the end, from what I've seen someone else do a review on this series. Most of the time it takes place here in America. And then I have picked up the Shadow Batman and Batman Shadow crossovers. I have issue 1 already. It's on my shelf. And so this is going to be the rest of it. This is the Shadow Batman issue 3 by Steve Orlando and Giovanni Timpano. I believe the creative team stayed consistent through most of the series. And then this is one of the issues of Batman the Shadow. The setup here is all mostly how it came out of packaging, so these are in no particular order. I literally just opened up the boxes and put everything up here. This is the Batman the Shadow issue 6. It's a 6-issue miniseries. This was done by the creative team of Scott Snyder, Orlando. Basically, these are the guys that made the first Batman series from the New 52. This is The Shadow from the first Dynamite run. This is issue 18, Alex Ross cover. Really beautiful cover. This is issue 22. Really interesting cover. I have never fully read this series. I have read on my old collection, I had the first 2 trades, which had like the first 10 or 12 issues. But so I only ever got as far as issue 12. So 13 onward is all new for me. So I look forward to reading this. This is another Shadow Batman book. This is issue 6. This is the Batman Shadow, issue 3. Cover here with the Joker. This is the Shadow Now series. This was a 5-issue miniseries. I have the first 3 issues in this set. Here's issue 2. This is supposed to be like another modern-day-ish Shadow. I remember reading issue 1. This is somewhat supposed to take place later on after the events of Blood and Judgment, because the Harry Vincent's daughter, Forsyth, Miss Forsyth, that the Shadow flirts with in Blood and Judgment, she appears in this book, and she has a daughter whose name is Margot. I believe I remember that from having read issue 1. This is, like I said, I have the first 3 issues here. This is issue 2. Really interesting kind of cover here. This is Batman Shadow issue 4. So the Shadow and Batman are working together to fight his rogues gallery. This is the Shadow issue 4. I have this one already, but as a different cover, but I really enjoy and I really like the Alex Ross cover art, so I wanted to get this one for myself. It's supposed to be as either Ying Ko, then Lamont, and then the Shadow. This is supposed to be a reference, I want to say, from the Shadow movie. And then here's the Shadow, Blood and Judgment issue 4, completing the mini-series. I'm going to do a breakdown or give this series its own dedicated video when I'm done with it. This is the Shadow issue 13. This is the first one that this is where I stopped reading, because prior to that I only read issues 1 through 12, so this is the start of a new arc for me. This deals with the Light, Nun or something, because I remember hearing something about that or reading something about that in passing from the series After Blood and Judgment, where it also refers to a character known as the Light. So that's interesting. And then this is issue 15. This is not the Alex Ross cover, it's just an interesting one. Kind of gives it this art. Looks like something you'd see on a painting. This is issue 20. The Alex Ross art has the shadow standing next to a Russian flag, and this one looks like he's shooting through a flag. So that's interesting. And then this is issue 25, really significant in the fact that this recreates the image that was on Detective Comics, the first appearance of Batman book. So I want to say this book is more expensive just for the cover itself. I only paid like $10 for this, so it's definitely was worth picking up. This is the Shadow Batman issue 2. Really like this cover. And again, the same creative team, Steve Orlando, Giovanni Timpano, Tony S. Daniel doing a cover here. Really nice. This is the Shadow Batman issue 4. This almost kind of looks like Mike Mignola, the guy who did Hellboy. So that's interesting. First cover A. So that's interesting. This is issue 5. Kind of a little bit of an interesting callback to here with the eyes. Reminds me of the eyes of the Shadow. So that's interesting. And then this is the Batman Shadow issue 1. I heard this one out of the series is kind of expensive to get a hold of. I paid about $9 a piece for these books. So I got these for a fairly good price. I have one gripe about this, and that's with this one. There was a panel that I've seen taken out of context, but when I do a video on this, and when I do my next podcast episode about this, I'm going to bring it up. I'll take a picture of it. It basically feels something that's out of character for Lamont, because he says something to the effect of, when he's talking to Margot, that basically says, "You're useless to me." And it's like, yeah, I get it. All of your agents are elderly and getting on in years, but saying something like that to Margot, the woman who worked for many years for you, who loved you, to say you're useless to me? I mean, yeah, I get it. I'm probably taking it out of context and not having the full panel in front of me, but still, I feel like that's out of character for something for Lamont to say. But again, I'm probably just overthinking it, but that's just my opinion. And then this is the Batman the Shadow issue 2. And then here is Batman the Shadow issue 5. And then the Shadow Now issue 1. I remember this one more clearly because I used to have this copy. Or not this exact one, but I had one of it. So there's that one. And then the Shadow Now issue 3. Well, I hope you guys like this little video here with my comic collection update. And to stay up to date on more videos like this and more of my Shadow content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And click that bell notification and turn your settings on to all. I recently uploaded and published my episode 4 of my Sanctum files, so please be sure to check that one out. And until then, I will see you all next time with another video. So take care, and goodbye for now.